Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we are going to have a look at tomorrow's card at Newbury, which looks quite a good card. There's a few races on there that I'm interested in, and there's a few that I'll be watching with the future in mind. So let's go through each race. We'll have a look at each race very quickly, just to see who catches my eye. We will start off with the 12:10 at Newbury, a 2 mile National Hunt Maiden hurdle. As you can see on our ratings, RTR5 will obviously not run at Gavega, a son of Quivega for Gary Moore, who actually won today. So he obviously won't be running. I think the biggest eye catcher in the race, the one that I'm most interested to see, is the likely favourite or the actual favourite. And top rated on our ratings despite being a newcomer. You know, I'm a big fan of horses that are newcomers that are top on our ratings. Our ratings take into account a lot more than just form, which means our ratings can analyse newcomers to a pretty good level. And I'm just having a look and I can actually see that Jet Powered is 4 to 5, 8 to 11 already in places. You can get 10 to 11 at William Hill, but I imagine that's not actually a real price, and as soon as you try and have a bet on it, they will change the odds. So yeah, Jet Powered is just the one I want to watch here with the future in mind. Could Jet Powered be a potential Supreme Novice horse? We'll find out. Would certainly have to win tomorrow. The second race on the card is the 2 mile Novice Handicap Chase, and it's a race I'm quite interested in, with the future in mind for sure. There's a few in this that are very interesting. That's Alright Gino, Oaken Risk, Soaring Glory, Balco Coastal, Frere Darm. Yeah, I think 5 of the 7 could be interesting going forward. Oaken Risk probably has the better form, or the best form on show. Soaring Glory's won a bet for hurdles, so is clearly respected. But I just think he might need the run, and I think this might be a race where they're just giving him the run. Whereas Oaken Risk has at least run this season, the same as That's Alright Gino. Balco Coastal, similar comments to Soaring Glory, might need the run. He is being well supported, 7 to 4, 6 to 4 now. I think if I was to have a bet, I would probably go for Oaken Risk. Has the form, has the fitness, has the chase experience, but it looks a very competitive race, and it is one I'm interested in, but I'll be watching this with the future in mind. The third race is another novice hurdle, or a novice hurdle this time, over 2.5 mile, and I actually think this will work out quite well as well. You can see those R figures for the likes of Russian Ruler. He's a Geezer. I love that name. I'd Like to Know and Egbert. They're good figures. They would win regular novice hurdles. The likes of Everyone's Game and American Legacy, they would be in regular novice hurdles. I think they would have a good chance. But this looks a bit of a strong novice hurdle. And it is one that definitely want to look for the horses for the future. I'm quite a fan of He's a Geezer. His second was actually a good second. It was second to Mayhen's Glory. Is that how you say Mayhen's Glory at Aintree? I thought that was a good effort. That was 33 days ago compared to Russian Ruler, who was last seen running 272 days ago. I just think the Dan Skelton horse might be fitter here, but going forward, I think all of these top 4 or 5 here are very interesting going forward. I mean, it's a race I'd like to watch and pay close attention to for the future. The 155 is a 2 mile 3, just shy of 2 mile 4 novice chase for a grade 2 novice chase. Personally, looking at the R figures, Camprond is probably the one with the best form on show. But the one with the most potential is Stage Star, who could well be the next Brave Man's Game, maybe. Prices, Stage Star at 2 to 3, 4 to 6, they are very short prices for a race where even the outsider has a chance. Wonderwall, Wonderwall was last sent off 7 to 4 favourite in a hurdle against El Bell. That's good form. To be favourite against that horse is, it shows that that horse has a bit of class, Wonderwall. And yet Wonderwall is the 20 to 1 outsider of 5 here. I think this is a good race. And again, I think it's a race that will work out going forward. Camprond could be, having unseated last time out, now be aimed at handicaps down the line. So just keep an eye on how he's ridden. But it'd be interesting to see how Stage Star gets on. I think he's a bit short, but could prove to be a class above these. The 230, and we start moving into races where I am going to have a bet, or I have had a bet already. The 230 is a 2.5 mile handicap chase, where I'm a big fan of Beakstown. I was quite keen on him a few times last season, and he kept running well. He eventually won a small race at Aintree, I think it was, or somewhere like that. It might have been Ayr. Before he came back this season in a very good race, the Monet's Garden Old Roan Handicap Chase at Aintree. That's a good race, and it worked. It's going to work out really well. Riders on the Storm won it, a former Grade 1 horse. Hitman was second. Hitman obviously was a very impressive winner at Haydock recently. Third was Garlaw, who went on to win the Paddy Power Gold Cup at the Cheltenham November meeting. And fourth, not beaten far, was Beakstown. Now, Hitman, Garlaw and Riders on the Storm are now all higher rated through their respective runs since. Beakstown's actually got dropped £2 for finishing fourth, not beaten far last time out. On his return, I think that was kind to drop him £2, and I think that race will work out well. Anyway, he's probably been beaten by 3 graded horses, and yet he got dropped £2, and he stays in handicaps. Looking at his rivals here, could any of these be future graded horses? I don't think so, personally. And I think this is a great opportunity for Beakstown to win again before going on to, or back into like a 2.5 mile race, maybe at Cheltenham in December, or maybe look at something like the plate at the Cheltenham Festival. But yeah, I'm quite a fan of Beakstown here. He did drift earlier on today, out to 100 to 30. He's now back to 3 to 1, 11 to 4 in most places. I do think he's the one to beat here. The 305 is the long distance hurdle over 3 mile for it's grade 2. Surely this is chance to lose, isn't it? Paisley Park is so unreliable and just tricky to get right. He's a very, very good horse, we know that. But he's just not my idea of the winner of this race. Prashima was a very good winner last time out in the West Yorkshire hurdle, but that's not good enough form to win this. Champ back over hurdles in this race. Surely he takes all the beating, and I was very surprised to see Champ's second favourite earlier this week. He's not anymore, he's now favourite, 15 to 8 favourite. You can get 13 to 8 in most places, 7 to 4. But yeah, I thought this was Champ's to lose rather. The final race of the day is the 3 mile handicap hurdle, and I've already highlighted Paddle Your Own Canoe. I'm still a big fan of Paddle Your Own Canoe. He is very, very well handicapped for the Dan Skelton and Harry Skelton team. Very well handicapped. He just fell early on last time out. He hampered and essentially brought down, but it's gone down as an unseat, Shearer, who is the big danger. But I think Paddle Your Own Canoe is so well handicapped that they can win this and still be well handicapped next time out. Some of his form over hurdles and over fences would give Paddle Your Own Canoe a huge chance off a 123, which is a crazy mark. I actually think he'll end up going off clear favourite, and he could win this quite nicely. If he does, it wouldn't be a surprise if they found a Pertemps qualifier for him, got him qualified quietly, and ended up in the Pertemps final with Paddy Rankine. He's that well handicapped that they could start looking at the Cheltenham Festival already. So there's a few thoughts for the racing or at Newbury tomorrow. As you saw, if you've gone through these, my nap will be Beakstown. My next best is Paddle Your Own Canoe, and my third best is Champ. And I'll be watching the other races closely for the future.